Hello, NeXT community. Well, having one of those situations where it was late and I couldn't sleep, so I'm going to integrate Greg's Cube for him. This is kind of a game changer. So it projects what's on that iPhone, which is kind of nice. The first time I'm using this for making my off-the-wall videos. I decided to stop with the props because I need sleep here. But you know, when you can't sleep and you're just thinking about stuff, and I said, well, the stuff I'm thinking about won't let me sleep. I'm going to come down here and do that stuff. And it's going to be kind of fun. It's not like it's stuff that I don't want to do. It's just finding the time to do it. Well, apparently from this angle, you get a lot of look at my, the back. Here, I can put my hat on backwards. Maybe that'll look cooler, because you got to stay cool. All right. Yeah, things are pretty chaotic, aren't they? Wow. All right. So, as you can see, I am having a blast here. I assembled these bookshelves. There's tons of examples of 3D stuff that I'm printing, and it is a lot of fun for me, along with making these wonderful, resurrecting these wonderful NeXT computers for all the awesome customers out there. And yeah, so having this little screen, it's also going to show me that it is recording, which is nice. So let's get this party started. I have even a next shot glass. I just need something to put in it, I suppose. But we're good. It's only Thursday. So I'm hooking Greg up here with a nice. You wanted an example of an early 030 cube. As you can see, probably this is serial number 448 from California Institute of Technology. And you can see there's kind of time machine stuff going here. We're warping in and out. Tariffs, no tariffs, stock market's going all over the place. And as I suggested, you know, that straddle would have paid huge, but I just enjoy doing this and investing back in the business. I did really well trading options a while back, and then I didn't do so well when the market turned. And right now, it's pretty much roulette. But a straddle in options trading, when there's moves like this and the volatility of the market, you can make money with trading options going up and down. The straddle, if you're unsure which direction it's going to go, you buy these contracts, and it's a way to control a large amount of stock for a small amount of money. But options will also eat your money faster than you can say boo sometimes. But like the moves yesterday, I would be driving a Ferrari probably if I had just gone with my gut, probably put a couple K at it. But I'm just doing the buy and hold strategy. Money doesn't buy happiness. I know I have that knowledge in the future, you know. And you got to play it safe. I think I'd rather be the guy writing the options contracts. So in options contracts, you basically have what are called strike prices. And a strike price is based on what the stock's current value is. And so you got to think of it like you're riding an escalator and you're either going up or down, and each step on that escalator would be a block. Because now they even have, you know, options trading where it's in increments of $1. Where it used to be when I was doing it, it was $5. So that means that if the stock's selling for 30 and you're doing a call, you want it to go to 35. And if you're doing a put, you want it to go to 25. There's different rules for trading options here in the U.S. versus abroad, so you can buy these contracts and sell them or buy them at any time within that expiration period. And it gets really interesting. When there's a move like yesterday, for example, if you had call option contracts that were out of the money on, say, Apple yesterday or Nvidia, and you were saying, oh, well, there's going to be a potential 10% move, $1,000 would have probably returned 100,000. I'm not kidding. It's like a lottery ticket. And the idea of a straddle is if you're unsure which way the market's going to go, so you can play in both directions. And what's cool about a straddle, you maybe have, you can take out, a 2 year, it's going to expire 1 year, 1 month. It's usually the third, I think it's Sunday or Saturday of the month that they expire, and they call it Friday. So that gets interesting, but now they even have daily options. So it's pretty much a casino out there. And as far as valuing the options, you can run what's called the Greeks, and there's just, you can go down the rabbit hole. There's different names for different strategies, like there's iron butterflies and condors and naked puts and naked calls. And if I had the camera going in here 24/7, I'd be worried about a naked call. Because like Warren Buffett says, when the water goes out, you can see who's standing naked. Well, a lot of people kind of jump on the gun, and it's, normally things are not based on the shooting from the hip strategy, but maybe there's more to it. And, Trump does listen. He does. But some of these moves, but that's just the way society is. High pressure. Gotta have it now. I'm more of a laid back guy, and I understand things wanting to be done quickly. And so that's why I'm awake here at whatever ungodly time it is in the morning. I think it's 5. Which is fine. I got a couple hours sleep. But I know that I'm going to have this buttoned up, and I'm going to show you how, hopefully in a couple hours, so I can get it shipped to Greg. He's worried about the tariffs. I understand that. But today, at least, they put a 90-day on it. So that's what caused the market to go bananas yesterday. So it went from a record plunge to a record buying day. And one of the things about NeXT and NeXT and the software, it was used heavily in trading houses. And in fact, back in the day, I integrated a couple of the boxes they used on the Options Exchange, CBOE in Chicago. And next step wasn't bombing. The problem was we were burning up AMD Thunderbird processors back in the day, because they were going through 1 billion trades a day. And so my suggestion is, have a hot spare on hand, or in case you have that much traffic coming through, you can just add them. And with NeXT, the developer tools, it made it really easy to do. It was amazing how much you could do in a little space. These guys were so far ahead of everything. With NeXT, then OpenStep, it went to Rhapsody, and I don't know, there's so many years have gone by, people may not realize this, but NeXT is the granddaddy of Mac OS, and also Android. So a lot of the things that were inherent in the NeXT developer tools and basic core, you've got, preemptive multitasking and protected memory. And what that means is, even back then we were running circles around, I think we were competing with Windows 3.11, which was like an adventure in hell. And you can run Windows 3.1.1 within NeXT as well as Mac OS. With, let's see, Soft PC for Windows and a little app called Executor. I've got another one called Dark Matter that lets you boot your NeXT up as a Macintosh. Not an emulation, but natively. And it's comparable to the speed of a Quadra back in the day. Well, let's get started with this build. I'm hoping that the sound's coming through. I am also, this is the first video done on my iPhone Pro Max 16. I figured, I wasn't sure about what the tariffs were going to do. And I had that upgrade every 18 months, and I only had a couple more installments before I was going to do it anyway. And they were giving some pretty good incentives. And so I said in my old 15, it's arrived sooner than I thought. It was on my doorstep this morning. So thank you, Apple, or I should say yesterday. And then I spent a couple hours migrating everything from the 15 to the 16. I really like the way they have that all set up. Kudos to Apple. And so what I like to do, if you'll know usually if I've handled a NeXT, because I have these different stamps. And now with my 4-in-1 craft machine, I'm going to be able to make these as well. And also when I add the feature into my, I'm really excited to get to the H2D sitting on the other side of these bookshelves, latest and greatest printer from Bamboo. So I'm trying to mix it up here for you guys too. I mean, there's a lot of channels out there, and my, point and shoot strategy, I think everybody that knows me realizes that, man, that guy has a lot of different projects on that. And it keeps the lights on, I'm able to help my assistants, and we're all in our 60s. And nobody wants to hire us because we're too old. And we're learning from the youngsters. I'm also taking, I'm never too old to learn, right? I'm 62. So I signed up for artificial intelligence classes, and I'm learning something every day. So there's a different one. I just started it, so now I understand fully Chat GPT and how to do the prompts and everything else. And so we're going to have a fully automated house here. That's what I've been building for and buying all these different tchotchkes for. So it's kind of fun. I've been reinvesting back in the business. And as many of you know, my dad passed away, and he was like, my best friend. And so I've been kind of taking care of Mom too, running back and forth to Denver. They were married 66 years. I've got a tight family. My sister's out in Alexandria. So some days, we talk on the phone daily, and I'm going to go down there because my dad's birthday would be, he would have been 90 on April 21st. So my mom and I, celebrate this combo of Easter and, Dad's birthday, but I'm just going to go down the 19th to avoid traffic. And as many of you know, I've got this fractured hip. I'm not using it as an excuse not to work as well. But some days it's really painful, and that's another reason I decided to go for this tonight, because I am feeling a little pain as well, but I work through it. I'm a fighter, man. So let's start with the stamp for Greg's system. And he's located in Germany. This one's going to go to his business in Italy. And I was like, is it supermodels and Ferraris? He's like, heck yes! Now, I won't divulge what he does, but it's pretty cool. Love the customers, love to hear about your hardware, retro experience, or with NeXT, or, you're excited after all these years to get one. I like to take my time a little bit. As you can see, I've broken this down completely, clear out the dust bunnies and moths and any other critters, that may be hiding. And my equipment is improving as well, and my techniques. I've been doing this 32 years, specifically in NeXT hardware. The first day I went to work, NeXT shut down their hardware production line. That's a whole other story. But I'm going to be just kind of working away here, and I'll just kind of jump in and say what I'm doing. So let's start with this stamp, and hopefully it's going to be the right direction up. and I put the stamp behind what's called the back plate. And this is a good opportunity to do this. Well, I've got it split in thirds. A lot of people don't realize that you can split the cube case in thirds. And this is good to do if you're going to do paint touch-ups or, painting. I just bought a little airbrush kit, so I'm going to practice with that. Here's an example of something I made just yesterday. It's a pen holder. I've got another one over there, so it's kind of cool. I mean, the quality that I'm getting out of these Bamboo Labs printers, these are X1Cs, and then the H2D, that's going to be fun. You guys are going to enjoy that. And I've had to put that unveiling on the back burner because I have been so busy with just life and working and keeping up with the orders, and I do appreciate that. If you hear like a little cha-ching sound, it's on my iPhone. That means I've sold something else, and that frequently happens. And yesterday it was like a pinball machine. It's kind of fun. Okay, so I kind of tried to round up everything that I knew I'd need for the build. And right now I can see that the fan I had picked out with Lori, she's good, but she'll kind of go through and, just pick up all the stuff, for my work projects. And within a day I can get it's like a kid in the land of toys and just stuff going everywhere. So she kind of brings it back in check a little bit, which is good. But sometimes it's like, man, do you have to go right for the area where I'm working on stuff right now? But, it's worth it to do it at this time of night because I don't have any interruptions usually, unless it's the good folks from Europe who are wide awake because there's about a 9 hours difference. Yeah, this is kind of interesting. I was kind of hoping she'd hit it. I had her, help clean some of this up. It's not bad. It just looks like, a little aging. Some kind of, I don't think it's paint. As he wants it in a brush, I'll let him go ahead. Use a toothbrush or something, but I am spent, man. I've been working many days, even through the weekend, and so I'm looking forward to the Masters Golf Tournament. So with these, what you want to do is stand above it and guide these 4 pins. You got to get them started. Now the other way to do it is to actually take them out of the back of the case. They're threaded. But the caveat to that is sometimes you break the threads. And it's a real pain. You should never have to force anything. And for the middle section, I believe I have it right. Okay. Let me see here. I just want to make sure my alignment's good. Take a look here. I can't stand for too long. Okay. There we go. It's really precise, so you just kind of want to work it into place. I make it look easy after doing 500 of these. Probably more like 5,000. Okay. So I'm going to look here and make sure I've got it the right direction as well. See the telltale signs and match it up. Yeah, this case isn't in too bad a shape. I mean, the tolerance, these engineers really had their work cut out for them to have everything fit in a 1 foot by 1 foot space. And NeXT had the most highly automated assembly line in the world. And the funniest story about this, I don't know if it's funny, but I'd like to actually talk to the guy. There was a guy that was at the end of the assembly line, supposedly of these when these cubes were going through the mold process and then painting. And he would stand there supposedly with a magnifying glass, and if there was more than 2 bubbles in the paint, he was supposed to reject the case. And I'm like, oh my God. So, you know, I've heard stories. And so it goes that, you know, NeXT was spending millions, tens of millions of dollars, and yet things were being held up sometimes by paint bubble. And how do you determine if there's 3? I mean, what is the guy sweating bullets? All right, let's see. I even thought about bringing out, you know, I got the electron microscope. We'll do that in another video just for fun. All right, so we want to get these all lined up. This one, and this one. Let's see if it's gonna, look at that. I think we got it. Go all the way around here. Well, yeah. Okay. I'll take that. And then you should be able to look here too at your threads and alignment. I don't muck with that too much because I'm you know, be worried about breaking a thread going too tight or, you know, too loose. It's been, you know, these guys are now 35 years old, so we want to be careful with them. And my heart's in it, obviously. So there's not many people that would be willing to do this at this time of the morning and work around the clock. But, you know, I love to work. And I go crazy not having work, you know. I don't know if I necessarily make a whole lot. I mean, it seems like we're all paycheck to paycheck or, you know, one medical disaster away from calamity, or most of us, but I do what I can and I try to help people out on the other end by not gouging and things like that. You know, this little thing is pretty neat. Let's see. If I slide this way, I wonder if it's easier to see. You guys are getting like a view of the back of my big ass and head. I hope you all have a sense of humor. I don't even know if mine's good at times, but I try. And, oh yeah, I did sell software to Saturday Night Live many years ago. So there's a little product called Animo that revolutionized pre-production and production for the major film studios back in the day. And it was a product that was on NeXT, and it would save them up to 60% of their production costs. So you had a little third-party app called Animo, and I've learned more about it through the years, and I've actually got a system that I've been meaning to get up and running. I finally found what's called the dongle for it that allows you to run all the licensing for Hoops, John Hooper. And so that's going to be fun. I'm going to have that one coming up now that I'm caught up on hardware. And please tell me the four screws in. I get one of these magnetic bowls, and this is what happens when we get the cleaning tornado going through. Fortunately, I have more of them, but it's just like, it's not a deal breaker. We get her done. I try not to be that boss that's a dick, because I've been an expert before where, way too high strung about stuff, you know, they're yelling. I'm usually the guy doing the cool stuff, but I've seen, you know, there's been times when I've screwed up. I'm far from perfect. I wouldn't want to be perfect, man. I think it's funner just being the clown sometimes. I'm laid back, a mellow hippie, so that's my culture. And pretty much my friends, you know, most, they're good people, you know. We're not like scumbags, we'll have decent jobs and help people. Kids have turned out all right. I don't have any kids, but that I know of. It wasn't really in my plan not to, but it just kind of worked out that way. I worked too hard, maybe partied too hard. I don't know. I dodged some bullets, let me put it that way. There were some girls that, you know, I'm not going to go into that, man. And, you know, I think I got to come. There's the other one. That's good. So just have to, having the magnetic bowl of screws is huge. Talking nuts and bolts and screws and women, fast cars. Yeah. What more could you want on a YouTube video? Oh boy. So at any rate, with Animo, I integrated the systems. They used to make the movie Space Jam, the first one, if you guys have ever seen that. Also helped Iron Giant, the Prince of Egypt, and then I finally found out what the secret one was. It was Kill Bill, a Tarantino film. And often, you know, I've had so many of those, and they couldn't tell me what, you know, what the system was for. It crashed. All the original people have left. Nobody even knows what the hell Next Step is, and you know, are mystified by even their seasoned guys. And so yeah, I've been that guy, including Apple, man. They saved iTunes. It's a true story. Like iTunes crashed, at least the WebObjects interface, and I don't know how much they were losing a minute. They were panicking, and I was the guy that had the original WebObjects software for them. And so if you guys have anything on iTunes, you can thank me. And a lot of other good people, like the developers and things like that. And I've done a little bit of developing too. And it's fun. I'm kind of a jack of all trades. And as far as the developers, I work with a ton of the best developers in the world, and you know, they can go do their thing, and I'm the sales guy. And I've kind of been that ham and eggs guy for all these years with NeXT, and then, you know, it's kind of fun. You know, when you're in something for 30 years, like a lot of my customers, you know, they laugh. They're like, I would have never even picked up a screwdriver or opened a computer if it wasn't for you. And they went into tech, you know, now they've been in tech all these years. And they're like, you're the most reliable vendor we've ever had. So there's something to be said to be being personable, you know, on the phone, and that I am. And I try it, you know, like most of my employees, what I've had employees that down in Denver that were with me 7 years. And it's funny because one of my best friends down there, Max, well, he went and knocked up my secretary, Elisa. Actually, they were dating before that. But, yeah, so they had three kids. This is long ago. And, the kids are, you know, turned out great. They're all, like, that's one thing. Like, a lot of my friends and kids are just like these amazing, you know, overachievers run circles around us, like valedictorians. You know, you went to Colorado School Mines. I went to CSU down the street here and moved back to Fort Collins in about 2005, 2006. And, you know, we were voted, there's been a couple of years where we were the best place to live in America. And I was like, well, I must be doing something right. Help and contribute a little bit. So it's, when I first, you know, started out at school, it was 1982. I mean, there was just wide swaths everywhere, you know. It took, you know, maybe 5 minutes to get across town. And now it's like, oh, geez, they're talking about another 50,000 people moving in out east. So we've kind of lost that cool small town feel. But for the most part, people here are pretty nice. I mean, very low crime rate still. There's still some idiots. But with ring cams, I mean, it doesn't, you know, they got the high security here. And the neighbors are all cool as well, you know, so we watch out for each other. But we really don't have too many issues. I did have some crazy roommates that, I mean, there's videos on that. So it's nice having the place back to myself because that was just stressful. Oh, so many stories. I'm just kind of rambling here, but it's keeping me awake as well. Okay, so we got the feet on. We've got the cube bended back together. I think I have this the right way. That's all looking good. Just kind of looking for any other anomalies. I'm not sure. I don't think this centerpiece is directional at all. At least, I mean, the symmetry on it looks just fine. Well, no, even this little welded piece is good. Oh, that's one thing that I want to show too. Is I got a welder that does metal, and I bought 3 of them. They're so cheap, but you know, I got to figure out what kind of metal you use, and you know, put it outside. I know enough to be dangerous, but we'll see if we can catch some stuff on fire and do some welding. I'm actually a pretty good welder, but this is like a whole new animal, little handheld. Let me see if I can grab one real quick. They just came in a couple days ago. Here's how we'll hop along. You guys can fast forward by some stuff too. I mean, sometimes I wonder if I should just put it in at 2x or 3x speed, but you know, this also makes good sleeping videos. So here's our soldering gun. Get that baby out. Whoop whoop. Yep. So they showed it soldering up all kinds of stuff. And it was only like, they had one of these flash sales, and it was ridiculous. So this was like $20 or something. I bought 3. You know, I figure I'll give one to Tom, and probably one to my other buddy Matt, so they could have fun too. But they were showing like you could weld all kinds of stuff, like if you have a broken iron railing, or I was going to try it with some of these NeXT cubes. Sometimes they have a little broken section, and see if it works with magnesium, and to see if I could do like a spot weld. It looks like it feeds, you know, the filament through, so I just need to figure out what filaments are compatible and stuff like that. Literally just came in. Okay, so we've got that in, and then I was almost tricked because I had this screen, and that went missing. And a lot of people, when they're doing the reassembly, forget about this, but it's like the dust screen. And so what you want to look for when you're putting the screen back in, I've got this handheld blower. It's just amazing. I mean, rather than using canned air, I'll just hit it. It's really loud. So, but I guess the sound is supposed to reduce it. So it gets the rest of the dust out of there. So what it'll look like a clump. So, and then if you're doing it at this point, it's a good opportunity to get the screen tucked down correctly. Along the bottom here, you'll see there's notches for these areas, and then it's straight flat. And this fits it. If you do it now, it's easier to get everything aligned. Also, I got all these little cuts from these bloody things. Just hardware in general. And diabetic sores, it's a real pain in my keister. They've been using that as the excuse as to why they can't do surgery, but I understand. So I'm trying to heal up the diabetic sores. Got an appointment for dermatologist again. And my surgery's been delayed 5 times, so I'm not going to bitch about it anymore. I'll just take it as it goes and keep on trucking. Okay, so with the screen, shouldn't have to force it. Just lay it down. And then all the contact points here, I mean, it's really precision. You'll kind of hear it snap into place. So I just kind of walk with my fingers, front to the back. There we go, heard that snap. Yeah, it's a good sign if you're, I like to disassemble them anyway, because I've even found stuff under the last little thing you think of. You take the screen out, and then there's some screw wedged in there that could short something. All right. I've been bitten by brown recluse spider one time. They are native to Colorado, but figure the guy had the equipment sitting out in the shed down in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And, I drove to meet him halfway, and I wound up getting the gift of the spider bite. And at the time, Dr. Duke was next door. He was in his 90s. I missed the Dukers. But he concocted a spider bite remedy using baking soda and charcoal. And it went for my arm looking like, it was zombified. It was weird too when it was healing. At one point it looked like there was an eyeball in my arm. I'm not kidding. I wish I had taken videos of that, Send it to the pimple popper lady would probably would flip it out. Yeah, it was Dr. Duper's magic potion. There's not even a scar. I mean, the thing was huge. Yeah, if you don't get it treated, it could be a real mess, and you're also feeling like crap. So, yeah, bug bites are no bueno. Okay. So, the back plate. Some of them have 10 screws and others have 3. In this case, it's 3. And this is where your motherboards and expansion boards mount in. So there's going to be one in the center. I kind of like to get that one in place. And because you have the screen in place first too, trying to do it with the back plate is total hassle. And you can get the screen, get up there, interfere with your motherboard. You don't want that. You don't want metal on metal. And power, that's, caused the kibosh of a few boards, I'm sure. I mean, I took a chance on a cube on eBay the other day. It was like $800, and then by the time you do the fees and the shipping, it was $956. And the thing is beat. I mean, it's an 030, missing the logo. I haven't even powered it up. It looks a lot rougher than it did. I think they photoshopped some stuff on me, man. I'm usually pretty good. I was like, well, I talked him down a little bit. I said, well, maybe, because I'm not out to gouge people, you know, and if I could make enough to keep the lights on, you know, keep you from going bug nuts, that's great. And make you guys happy. Of course, my nose is going to start running now with the dust. We grab some tissues, and you get the real play-by-play here. And where else are you going to get this? Drink a little water. Ooh, 5:57. We're going to be teeing off at the Masters momentarily. That would be awesome. Okay, so I am looking for my box of magnesium screws, which I had everything over there. And, as I say, she swooped in. There's another magnetic bowl of screws. This is really high-tech video, isn't it? She's like, wow, man. There's one I need too. We're in business. Oh my God. Yeah, I like this because I'm, you know, able to do this right. And I'm not getting interfered, you know, with, oh God. It gets chaotic when things get rocking and rolling. I love it. I worked at Computer City, and so that's where I was able to get rid of my fear of the telephone. There was a guy, Marcus, that was a trader on Wall Street. True story. I don't know if you guys saw The Wolf of Wall Street. So he worked for that firm, right? And I didn't know until years later when that movie came out. I was like, yeah, no wonder, man. Really hyper dude, but cool. He said, you know, he taught me, don't ever be afraid of the telephone. You know, you can make more money on the telephone than you ever will going door to door. And of course, at that time, as well, the web was just starting up. And I worked, you know, for Olympic Systems for about 6 months. That was the first job I had, you know, hired out of CSU, first job I interviewed for, selling NeXT to third-party products. And they were just doing sketchy stuff. I got my foot in the door there, and I couldn't believe it the first day I went to work. They shut down their hardware production line. But the Pratts, I mean, they taught Mr. Pratt taught my dad how to fly back in the 50s. And his son, Dale, had worked at Businessland. And so he started up Olympic Systems using Jim, his dad's pension from United Airlines. And, you know, my dad and Jim flew for United, and rest in peace, Mr. Pratt as well. They were like the home away from home whenever my folks would go on vacation. We'd go over to the Pratts. So it was Dale, he was kind of a dick. James at my age, and then 6 daughters. And so, yeah, it was pretty interesting. You know, very strict Catholic and stuff like that. It's good people, you know. Good family, you know, and a lot of good times. And so they hired me on it at Olympic, and I told them, you know, the first day they were coming up with this name, Olympic. I was like, that's the name of the sound system for the Grateful Dead, you know. And they went with Olympic, you know, and it turned out to be a royal pain because everybody hears it as Olympic on the phone. I'm kind of jumping around on things, but I hope it's entertaining. So at any rate, got Olympic.com, and we later sold that name to Phil Lesh. Rest in peace. Phil was the bass player for the Grateful Dead. I'm a hippie, so this was all cool stuff. You know, John Barlow wrote a lot of the lyrics for the Dead, was the editor of Next World magazine, for example. And, you know, just a really cool culture. Steve, I met him once, and with my customers, you know, it's great hearing all these stories, you know. And, yeah, oh, by the way, if you want to hear, you know, my story, we sell the book Inside Next, and I've got, I think, a cameo of 12 pages. I think it's the last story in the book. And then we, you know, opened it to a lot of NeXT customers, so they tell their stories too, so it's kind of fun. And Luciano over in Italy has been awesome. He's the author, and I've, you know, over the years I buy at least 100 a year. And this year I said, "Do you think we could do an extended version?" And he liked the idea, and so he's kind of the captain on the pitch, I guess, over there. And got it done, and I mean, it's really nice. And I sold quite a few of them. I think I'm down to probably about 30 of them. So we'll be, you know, reordering for sure for this year, 25. All right, so I've got those. Those are the drive rails on the bottom, right? So you want to be careful with them, popping them out. They've got these two little clips here. I don't know if you guys can see these. So you want to be really careful because these could be brittle, right? And you want to just ever so slightly pop them. So you get a screwdriver in there, just kind of press back and pop. And if you press too hard, they can break. It's a real pain in the butt. But I can 3D print these now, and that's one of the things that I'm going to be able to do with the new H2D. We are going to print a 2-scale size NeXT cube. I want to thank Elaine, one of my great customers over in Luxembourg. We've been working back and forth, and he's designed a bunch of awesome parts. And now I have the machine to do it full scale, so we're going to have some fun with that. I can actually do metal filaments with that printer as well. So we'll start out maybe with some basic, and then I could do like carbon fiber. And I'd like to maybe see if there is something like a magnesium filter. So that's going to be fun. Because if I could make a, you know, full-size cube case, or any size pretty much, you know, design, you know, the parts to where we could have like a mini ATX. I could even design it, and I've talked to some customers about, you know, making an expansion board that runs Next Step Intel on one side and the 68K on the other. I think we could do it. Because actually on the dimension board is an i860 chip. Okay, so we've got our drive guides here on the screen, back plane, top, bottom drive guides. So next up is going to be our power supply. I believe we've got one set aside here for it. A little bit of method to the madness. I believe we cleaned this out pretty good. He wanted close in proximity matching serial numbers, even though NeXT didn't do that from the factory. So I got him, I think, a couple of them where there's like 457 and 448. 457's the motherboard, which is really, really, really early. It's one of these cube gold motherboards. And so NeXT had the first fully automated assembly line in the world, which was quite the achievement because it was, you know, they said 10 times better than any other manufacturing process. It allowed them to do the layout, and then it was robotic. And so I've even got, I put original NeXT RAM on there for him. We've got the new capacitors, these Austrian caps I really like. And then we've also got the smaller ceramic caps. So that's been our kind of go-to configuration, cookie cutter approach. Now, I'm gonna need the harness to attach to this. That may take me a minute to grab. And you guys, if feel free to take a little break or something. I'm going to go ahead and find this harness. I should have pulled it earlier because we had another. I had a customer that a good customer, Chuck over at Vintage Computers, buys a lot of equipment from me. NeXT equipment. And yeah, he's been one of my favorite customers. We're considered good friends all these years. And he's in East Aurora, New York. So you'll see him on eBay, his Vintage Computer Museum and stuff like that. But FYI, I'm the guy that's, that takes care of Chuck, and Chuck takes care of me, and we take care of the community. But he's got everything. I mean, if you're looking for vintage, hardware, he's the go-to guy. And feel free to tell him Rob sent you, or if you have specific requests, I'm certainly willing to give him a shout out, see if we can't get you taken care of. Okay, so I've got my harness here, and from experience I know I'm going to need more of the screws. That's one thing, I do have a loose screw or two going on. Oh man. We're getting there though. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna have to shine this up and hit it with some dust off. So I'll give you a heads up warning. Okay, on the magnesium screw front. I had a whole box of those, or a whole baggie of those that I'd set aside for my little project here. And here comes the cleaning tornado. All right, so I'm going to hit this dust off here. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if that microphone mutes it. Of tissues while I'm at it here. Okay, my microfiber cloth would be brilliant right about now. Now this towel will do. Let's see if we can't get some of the stainless steel and some of this Armor All. I'm just talking out loud to myself here so you guys can see that I'm still with it. Sort of, kind of. Now I know we did have the, where's my stainless steel cleaner? What'd she do to me, man? Oh my God. Alright, I'll just use Armor All, but that stainless steel probably polishes up fairly well. I don't want to ruin the patina. This is a dusty component. So let's go back here. All right, set that down, and I'm gonna keep talking because it's entertaining. Are you not entertained? You can kind of see this is a little dusty. So I'm gonna put it in there like that. I'd like to clean it up. And we've got it's called stainless steel cleaner that works pretty good. Oh man, it's starting to hit a wall, but this is good because I can get a couple hours sleep. And oh no, this one's out of the way, and I can get her out the door today. And hopefully, you know, I'm not gonna get nuked with any of these tariffs. Or not, you know. Oh man. Sometimes, yeah, you gotta take a step back in these business decisions and see the forest through the trees, you know. It's not just about bringing in the tariffs, but it's how everything else is affected by it. It's like you're taking a jigsaw puzzle that's all put together, kind of, sort of, and then just, you know, hitting it with like a industrial fan. Out of the blue, you know, no warning. Oh my God. At least that's what I feel. I don't know how much it's going to affect me really. Because fortunately I've been buying all this, these components to be proactive. So I got a pretty good stock, and I can, you know, I try to pass those prices on to everybody. And now it's like sometimes, you know, you got people, your prices are too low. And I'm like, no. Okay. So I don't want to make people mad one way or the other. It's like damned if you do, damned if you don't. So I just, you know, kind of settle in and I hear lots of good things if you look at my eBay comments, pure powwow on eBay. So that's all good. Going direct also helps because it saves a lot of different fees. So if you're seeing this, you can always just hit me up. YouTube message, email, with my phone number. I mean, you can text me at 303-741-9998. Oh, this really happened. Shout out to the people I busted. I think they were. Can you believe this girl? Yeah, or whatever. Again, I mean, I don't know how many times I asked. Are you really a scammer or something? You know, assumed identity, and I think I finally was able to use the photo comparison in Google Images, and so I saw that all of the photos that she had sent me, some of them very odd, were in this in this image deal with like Pinterest or something, and I'm like, are you kidding me? I mean, what the heck? You know, why spend so much time? And I was like, you know, questioning whether these responses were ChatGPT generated, which I suspected. And I'm asking ChatGPT, but other times it seemed pretty normal, you know? It's like, so I don't know if Teresa is indeed a real person, if that's even her name, because there was another name associated with it. And it was strange that, you know, didn't have the Facebook supposedly, only on Telegram, and then the what was it, Brody? Oh, she's going on adventures with Brody, and, you know, apparently the one I'm talking with is, I made every effort to seem like she was single. I don't know what the heck went on there, but, you know, I said, hey, you know, this is convenient because it was like pretty much April Fool's on the 31st. I said, you know, hey, what's the deal with all these? And she's like, oh yeah, I go on little adventures with Brody. And I was like, oh, so it means that you know, she's in Saskatoon, supposedly, that she's, She's, oh, you have a boyfriend. That's not the impression I was getting at all. Oh, man. I just hate internet stuff like that. But at any rate, I've got a few irons in the fire. And the other two gals that I've been having conversations with are legit. So that's good. Along with all the other actual people that I know in person, life's pretty good. But it's just like this one, I don't know what spawned, and I haven't heard since I said, you know, are you this person? So I did have an unusual call, like I say, on April Fool's Day that said it was from Nigeria, where they were laughing and just let a ripper fart and then hung up. I said, I bet that's Teresa. True story. So, you know, it's like, who's trolling who? Good riddance, though. I mean, I don't understand this catfishing thing and why people are, you know, putting that much time and effort into anything. And I've got enough going as it is, you know. You just don't know. And a couple of, I kind of suspected a few times, like, you know, like, do a video call or something. So I just want to make sure that it's actually a person that I'm vetting. Now, Isabel from Poland, she's real. She actually sends me pretty nice little messages. Voice and text message. And I have unfreeze her webcam, so I was a hero on her birthday. She's one of these non-nude models, and it's fine by me because, I mean, god damn, you know, I need stuff like that in my life. Very friendly, very intelligent gal. She speaks, I think, 6 languages. And I wouldn't be opposed if she sent her G5 over to pick me up and I go out and party with Polish girls. Shit happens at the black hole. Oh man. People are making some serious bank online doing all kinds of stuff. Let me tell you. Man, here I am polishing up a harness talking about these internet, I don't know, you all probably have similar, you know, you stumbled on this, you probably laughed at a few, you probably fell for the same thing, or, you know, you met your significant other there online. It's all good. As I say, I talk to everybody. I've got customers all over the world, and enjoy doing what I'm doing here. This one here. Yeah, that looks a lot better. I mean, and you know, he's been watching the videos and likes them too. So, Greg, if you're watching, I mean, you can go back through. I know you wanted this in a hurry, and it is late for me. I'm trying to get this out to you today. I realize we got the tariff thing possibly going or not, and so the quicker I get this out, DHL is usually pretty fast. And for everybody out there, shipping, let me tell you, had experiences with UPS, FedEx, and the post office, but DHL, I swear to God, they're leaving them all in the dust. um, I like the way they have their software integrated, so they're already doing the customs paperwork while the thing's in the air. And I've had, customers will attest to this, where I send these out, and they're boom, they're there, like, within 2-3 days. Like New Zealand and Japan, all over Europe and US and Canada, so I'm good. Shout out to DHL, and the rates are competitive as well. And what I've been doing now that's a lot more convenient, it opens up a lot of shipping opportunities. Chris, the owner over up the street at Packet Mail, real nice folks in there. And, Hunter, she's a real help. So we're able to get the packages over. They close at 5:30 every day, and usually the UPS and FedEx are there around 4. DHL maybe runs a little bit later, which is actually perfect for me. Hey, this is a bonus because they actually left the screws in this one. Yeah, that's perfect. I don't know if you heard that in the background, but it looks like the print has completed on my 3D printer. So we'll bring that over and show you guys real quick. And if I'm still set on filament, I'll probably print another one. It's fun around here. I have another printer sitting over there that's idle, but I figured I might as well fire up and multitask. These are the sound card cases for Brian Archer's new I/O sound card. So let's see if they did us a favor and left 2 of them on the other side. Sure did. Okay, that's great. That makes short work of this. Having to scramble around for screws. I mean, I was already looking. And so this, I call it the harness. A brilliant idea. So it's centered above the power supply. And then you've got the fan that cools off everything. So it's really nice compartmentalized. And you can have up to 3 expansion boards. So you have your main motherboard and then 3 expansion boards. All right, that's looking pretty good. You got this little clip here to kind of hold things in place. Well, we're going to get this harness. You want to make sure, I've done this tons of times too. You got your plug back here. And on your harness, you got this little lip that catches air. Then this mates with the front end of our back plate. I'm hoping you guys can see this, how this is coming together. Let me tilt that there a little ways. But it's kind of fun. Appreciate, I wish I could have this going live streaming where you guys could compliment live or yell at me, hey fool, you need to go get some sleep. You can't accuse me of not getting stuff done, man. And normally I take a little bit longer on this, kind of project, but I'm doing okay with it. And I think I'm doing a good job. I hope you guys like what I'm doing and the way I'm doing it. I'm trying to do it right. And it's okay to make mistakes if you're, never worked on computers. I mean, I've had customers, where, what is the mouse? What kind? I was like, oh my God. He was like an uncle and one of the my friends in Denver. I sold him the computer and I talked him through all that stuff. They appreciated that. Then it was like Windows too. I was like, oh my God, I'm in hell today. But I got some good karma coming my way for sure. I've set up Intel boxes too with multiple operating systems. I know we did did one for Cornell, for a professor there, that had OpenStep, because the NeXT or OpenStep Move Manager was set up for 4 different OSs, but our main problem is the 2 gig partition limit. Um, and I think there's guys working on, revamping the source code so it'll support more, large hard drive format. They did a little bit of that in OpenStep 4.2. You'll find you can't install it. It'll run, but the first hard shutdown, if it goes to the check disk software, that's where everything goes haywire, because check disk can't understand disk drive geometries, I'm told, above 2 gigabyte. And so, totally scrambles the drive, you've lost everything on it, then you gotta do an install again. Now, what's happened here with these SCSI SD cards, the little PCBs we're using now, is if you do have problems like a crash, it's easy to go back in and you use the backup or cloned image to reinstall everything. And it takes, what it used to take me, literally weeks or, a month, depending on how much software and configuring, I could do it in about 15, 20 minutes if everything goes right. With you can either drag and drop now, so the developers are getting better as well, making it easier to do the installs and backups without having to go to a terminal window and command line. Setting your format to 512K, and then setting, you got to do your cylinders and blocks. I think it's 139 and 4 because it's different from hard drives. I know I'm just talking gobbledygook for probably most of you out there. But now you can just drag using your mouse and drop my custom folders onto an SD card that's formatted. FAT32 master boot record. Now some people do exFAT, and I think exFAT's, if you've got a larger, like a 64 gig SD card, that's where exFAT might have some advantages. But I've done the research. Actually, I could probably bench it. That'd be interesting to see if the formatting in exFAT versus FAT32, if there's a performance bump one way or the other. I'm using the Zulu SD cards instead of the old noisy, squeaky hard drives. They never thought there was going to be anything above 2 gig back then. So that's where the problem has been. But then it's testament to, I like to press this down because it makes it so it goes in easy. You're sliding it into place. Okay, so I'm going to flip this over. Get these last 2 screws buttoned up. I don't over tighten. I just, or over torque. I just kind of, you'll feel it. Okay, so now granted, if I've done everything correctly, this should slide in like a champ. Might have to lead it just a little wee ways back. Okay, there we go. I knocked something off. What was that? Oh, it's just a raw burner that I had to sit back there. Okay. Bam! How about that? Good enough for government work. Okay. Then we've got our motherboard here. And it slides in. You always want to put it on this side. And it's got a really tight tolerance, especially if there's heat sinks on the processor. But the RAM, you can kind of see, man. All right, maybe a couple millimeters. And that's just, me doing everything correctly. I make it kind of look easy, and it does pop into place. So I think with a can try it. Let's see, why don't I get a? I should have my SCSI cable here too. That's been moved, and we'll try and fire it up with the hard drive just to see if she'll boot. And what else am I going to need? I'm going to need the sound card, keyboard, mouse. I'm just thinking off the top of my head. The power cable. And we're going to need a monitor. Okay, so this may be taking a minute or two to gather this stuff. If I'm on it, like Blue Bone it. So let's bring in, let's see if this monitor's easy to untangle here. Has it got something attached to it possibly? Doesn't have the cable. Well, I like these Dell monitors because they pivot 90. Okay, so it looks like we just have that. Clear the stuff off around the base. Take the bag. It's coming free. All right. I'm gonna get out of here without making a complete mess. It's trying to come apart on me. Oh my God. Okay. There we go. This has the sound bar, which is kind of nice. And it's compatible with the NeXT sound box or Brian's sound card. Okay. Let's see which way am I going here. I think it's going to slide in from this direction. With any luck. But actually, you know what? These monitors are great because they do this. And I sell these monitors too. They are NeXT compatible. And they're in pretty good shape. In fact, I've got some really nice ones that I need to unbox in there. Okay, so we are so close. Just need another fraction of an inch, and then it should just pop in. Wow. We can do this too. This is easy. You just pop the front off. Let's go. Pop this. Actually, why don't I do this? I can just leave that. Just more than one way to skin a cat. I'm surprised Bella hasn't been down. Now that I said something, she's probably heard her name. She'll come down and meow at us. She's like, I'm fed up with you, Dad. You need to sleep. Okay, so let's see what this is about. It should just slide right in here. I think this is one of my shop monitors, so it probably has a broken clip or something here. See, maybe it goes this way. Okay, come on. All right, I think that's going to hold okay. Then we're going to plug it in so we get sound. I don't know if you can hear my hip popping and crackling. Okay. That should go to the sound card itself. We'll bring in a keyboard, mouse. Probably set these screws out to the side and up here. Whoop. And with these, I'm hoping that this bulb is good. This is called a load board. And with these 030s, we need to simulate monitor load. Let's see if I can slide that in real quick. And I talked to Brian. He said that, how are we doing on time? About an hour and 20 minutes. That's not too bad. You can see the sun coming up. Okay. There's only one way this is going to go in. And if I go in like that, that should be it. So you want to go into the first slot. You can kind of use the guide If you have good light, like I do with this headlamp, that makes a lot of this easier too. You can actually see what you're doing. It may look dorky, but let me tell you, it's makes it so that this just works. All right. So I think I've successfully got that mated. And that's a 96-pin connector. Okay, we're gonna need an SD card. Keyboard, mouse. Let's see, I believe I've got the monitor cable. With any luck, this is the right one. And is it no good? Nope, that's a 13W3, so that's for color systems. No worries, I've got this. I've done a few of these, so these would all be kind of gotchas for a lot of folks. Let's see, and this might be a good call here because you got the sound box connected, cable. Let's see if it'll give you some love with the keyboard and mouse. And where are you? There we go. Where's our mouse? This is cable free. Is the mouse free? There we go. The thing untangled, so I'm not making a spectacular crash and burn over here. Alright, come on, baby. There's those two. There's method to my madness. Alright. Okay, so we're going to set that down up here. That's keyboard and mouse. We've got our sound box, cable. And what's the over-under on this working the first time? Okay. Now, we're going to go VGA. So my custom cable here, VGA. Hopefully it just sits in there. I'm not going to tighten it too much. And then flip this back. I like that. Okay, then we're going to need two power cords. One for the cube, one for the monitor. We're getting there, folks. And what's this guy doing? Okay, that's there. I believe there's another cable. Is this gotta be loose, right? What's it plugged to? Come on, man. Got some booby trappage going back here. There we go. So far, I haven't done too many crash and burn episodes. Okay, so we've got two power cords. And for the cube, open this into a good cord. It feels like it's snugged in there. Get this one for the monitor. Oh man. My hip is sounding like a popcorn popper. Okay. Feels like I got a bloody nose from the CPAP machine and it's pretty dry here. Get the humidifier going. The humidifier they have in the CPAP machine is, I don't know, it only lasts like about 4 hours. So if you've got the bloody thing on, everything will evaporate. You'll wake up with a really dry mouth. All right, now I'm starting to sweat, fall apart here on the home stretch. Okay, so we got our cables. We got the power connected, monitor. Let me go on the other side for this cable. Come on now. There we go. Feed that through. Huh. Back in. Okay. So we've got power there. Dropping stuff. All right, there's our Dell power. And then we're going to get into, you always want to make sure that this piece for cubes is centered. You can get it to power up if you plug this in, the Y cable into your sound box, but you won't get any video. I'm just going to take this headband off for a minute. Seem to want to fall off. My back is aching. All right, now, let's see. We're down to home stretch here. I believe if the load board works, we should be good with just a maybe a couple tweaks to the boot process. Let me see if I got a, I think I do, a no good SD setup. Where are you? Let's see here. Let's try this one. Let's grab a couple of them. Okay, we got that, and we just need how about this cable? There we go. Nice long scuzzy cable. All right. Home stretch. Okay. We can tilt this a little ways. This is where I really need that headlamp, of course. So you want to make sure you got good light on that when you're connecting the 50 pin. So this is probably one of the times that I really need this. Still have power, it's fading a little bit, but these things are great too. And I think I'm going to start selling a lot of this stuff. Just gonna, I have, you know, approval to be a TikTok shop and everything else, but I'm just so busy already. Unless they're drop shipping. So the headlamp, you want to make sure it's always got a little bump here, and on the connector on the board it's a notch. And you want to line up, you got to get all 50 lined up. And it's looking pretty good. Oh man. Now I guess what I could do as well is pull this out, the board out, and do it flat. That might be a better option, just because I am tired. The last thing I want to do is bend a pin. You know, like if you're skiing, it's the last run of the day, and that's when the snow snakes grab your ski. You have a yard sale wreck. We're not going to do that here at the Black Hole today. under the ski lift usually. Okay, getting heckled. And this is a good opportunity to check to make sure there are no bent pins on any of the connectors. This one looks good. We can straight down on it, makes it much easier. Let's make sure the notch is on the right side. There's it. Yep. And it should go snug as a bug in a rug. We've done everything right. Come on now. And, you know, take your time and be careful. Make sure you got all your ducks in a row. Actually, this is a really good example of why you want to probably do it on a flat surface like this. There we go. And you want to make sure that it is all the way in, or you will get a SCSI bus hung error. So it should look clean and level there. Then when you come in, you want to get there's these drive rails guides. Top. Of course, I got my keyboard blocking it just a little ways. There we go. And bottom. It's going to be really tight. There we go. And then you'll feel a nice click. There we go. Shucks. You know what? I think because it's an 030, if you're using an SD, it's going to require power to the card. And I have some of these with power on them. So let me see if I got the power splitter and a card. I had Alex and Rabbit Hole go ahead and do the mounts for me for just this purpose, for 030s. They changed up some things in the config later on. Well, he was supposed to. Yeah. I could certainly try it with one of these, but I just like to get what I know works. I'll muck with that later. I think I paid an extra couple bucks per to have the floppy connector on it. Most of the time you don't need it. Maybe they've got it to where it works now. But my experience is because this is such an early 032. Well, I'll be damned, man. Come on. Well, maybe I'll get a little bit of rebate and certainly put Matt on it, my caps guy. How about an Eddie Love with a Zulu card? It's like, you know, when you have all these parts, and normally this is not an issue because you have so many of them. Let me use this entire stack, just not have them as well. Why me? Alright, let's try this. It's either called a Molex 4-pin or a floppy connector. Tell me, you guys did some of them for me. Yeah. Oh, man. So this is what I'm talking about here, if you can see it. It's a different style card, and I don't want to open that can of worms. Man. Alright. So, let's see, what's my other option? How about just a standard hard drive? I'm trying to get it because I want it to boot up the first time, man. I don't want to have to sit here. No, I need to go look for this. Need to look for that. Oh man, what am I stepping on? Oh, it's just a pen, thank you. Great. I got ink on my shoe. That's fabulous. Alright, now, come on. I'm hanging in there, folks. Okay. I only have 1 million hard drives, so let's go back over to this area. You know, my hip's kind of getting a little loose. Sometimes it feels okay, but, you know, it's crackling and popping. And, when it goes out, it does, man. Okay. wanted, because these drives are so old too. Okay, let's see, what are you guys? Well, this one indicates that it wasn't a system. It's got a green sticker. This is always an adventure too with these SCSI hard drives. I'll show you what I just printed here too. Set it down for a sec. This is exciting, isn't it? So there's our sound card case. Okay. Let's see, we got a Quantum, Fireball, and I mean there's green stickers on them. If it's done by me, green means that it booted up here recently. So, let's see if I got a little power extender. I think I saw one sticking out right here. That'll work. Awesome. So these are the Molex 4-pin power. Oh, my back. Just gonna sit in my hydro pool. I've also got that massager up there. It's amazing. It just came in. I'll show you that thing in a second. Okay, so we're gonna have to plug in this and our keyboard and mouse and hit power and see what she does. I don't know if this drive is done. We are going to find out. We'll put it on the end of the SCSI cable. It still has a mounting bracket on it, so it shows it came out of a workstation. Okay, so we've got the drive. We're going to move that around. We'll unleash our cables. Hope that load board light works. Oh man. Come on, dude. Here we go. Now, of course, I need my damn headlamp. There. Might as well. You don't want to cross these up. So there's little notches on either end. Right, so it kind of looks like a barn. There you go, pop it into place. We've got that. We've got the fan connection. It should be fine. We're just running it to test to see if I've done everything right. I'm hoping that there is a no good BIOS battery as well on this 030. That would be something that I should have probably checked. We're going to find out in about 10 seconds. Okay, we're going to have to connect the DB19 connector, the Y cable. All right, yeah. Okay, that goes there. We got these plugged in. Nothing. All right. Supply back to here. Plug in securely. Let's try a different outlet. Come on. Come on, buddy. Jesus. All right, dude. Let's try this one down here. And we'll try a different BIOS battery as well. If that's from 1988, that would make sense. Okay, we got that. It's plugged in. Sound box should be no good working sound box. Hopefully, nothing. Okay, so don't worry. We're a little late. Okay. See if we've got the battery in. Okay, there is a battery. Oh, let's be able to tell here. Oh, come on. Alright. Well, let's see if this is the right direction and we'll look at the date on it. What the hell? Plus, should be a date code. Well, it's going to be my first guess. Second is power supply. I think that's a real good working keyboard. Just be patient. Where did I see those batteries? I had a whole slew of them and they were right here. But I had some that I had in my hand. Oh my God. I know there's a real good one on this motherboard over here. Grab another power supply. Just to test, man. We need signs of life, and then it could be that damn load board. In which case, I can bring a NeXT monitor into the equation, which I might do anyway. Okay, here's our BIOS battery, new old stock, or actually new. And I got a known good monitor here. Bring over. Okay. Okay. I think I heard it pop just a little bit. So let me take the flat panel out of the equation because it's an 030. Got this thing in all the way into the back plane, I believe. Right. Let me try it. Okay, let me try to take a look at this filament on here. These things are so brittle. And I think this leg is just out. One leg is just out a little bit. Let me try and. Come on, headlamp, come through for me one more time. It's fading, not fading. Okay, now. I think it's intact. We'll try. As first you don't succeed. All right. Oh, come on. There we go. Come on now. Get the bottom. Okay. For my sanity, I'm going to try an 040 board real quick. Well, this isn't on the light either. Let's try that. Okay. Really? Okay. Well, get that. Get a good connection here. Here. Okay. Well, let me try this cable, which is no good power cable, just in case it's a bloody power cable, before I change everything out. Oh. You can screw this power supply in so it's secured too, because it's kind of rocking and rolling a little bit. Okay, let's try. First we'll try motherboard. almost 2 hours in. Think of our lives we can't get back. All right, let's go here. Take this out. We're going to try and drop an 040 in. Drop into heavy hitter. I really want this to work. All right, let's see. This drawer over here. There's method to my madness. All right. Could be the power supply too, so I'm just gonna walk through until we get something, some kind of action going here. Oh, dude. Okay. Okay, we got that's plugged in. The power cable. This goes to the cube. 40 gives it some juice. Okay. Okay. For my sanity, I'm going to bring in a 983 late model power supply. It does not require a load board, which I offered. And we'll slide this out. You can slide these out if you're careful with the motherboard in. But I might just take my time here. God dang it. Now I'm in a pickle. Okay. It should just come on out. Come on. What the heck? There we go. Go ahead and take that. Note to self, check to make sure this was screwed in. The bezel plug. It's the only thing I did. I thought I'd verified that. Okay, unplug this. Slide the board out. definitely, the board's mating okay. So I'm just walking back through everything until we figure out where our issue is. My bet is on the load board and the stupid or the appliance battery. That's it's innovative, but 983 is going to be a safer bet. In my opinion, oh yeah. Okay, there we go. Let's just try this beast. Oh my God. Ha! Jesus. Alright. This has got the monster drives in it. Okay. What do we got? Yeah, these original 4-inch tall drives weighed about 7 pounds each. Okay, so got the load board out. This is a 983, correct? Yes. Hopefully it's a no good 983. Does anybody want my job? Anyone? I'm trying really, really hard, man. Can you hurry up? Get it out. Come on, dude. So on top of already working. Got my 40 hours in this week. Okay. There we go. You don't hear me complaining too much, though. I mean, I'm not doing too bad. I'm sure there'd be some fairly salty people at this point. If you get to this point, you can call me. I'll be I understand. I can walk you through. Oh man. I need to get some Kleenex because apparently I got a bleeder. Alright, this is great. I'm giving blood to the next community at this point. Dude, just plug in there. What are you doing to me? Yeah, okay. Let's try and flip it. What? It's gotta go. Alright. Yep, there it goes. I had to click. Click. And hopefully no good battery. That's popped in. Looks like our power supply is good. Grab this. Okay. Got the Y cables hopefully still attached. Here. Try swapping that sound box too here in a sec. Alright, let's do that. Okay. Life. Probably need a power cable on the monitor, right? Yep. Hope this. Other end. Okay, there we go. Got it. Hey, and you know what? Our little guy gave up the ghost. I am calling that a wrap, folks. Let's see if we get to an operating system first. I gotta clean my nose up here. Blood. Ouch. It's checking disk. I'm not even sure what we got in here. It's a quantum fireball. Gigabyte. All right. Greg, if you're watching this, you sure you want me to ship you these early model 152s with the load board? So I'm telling you, man, you know, there's a reason they updated the power supply, the 983s, because they knew I'd be coming along doing stuff like this. Yeah, listen, in 25, he'll be happy. There was one guy, I can't believe all the parts you got to do to get these things working. You know, it's a custom SCSI cable and the PCB and installing onto the SD cards and multiple partitions there. And then you're doing capacitors, board level work on the motherboards and the sound cards. From there, you got a custom Y monitor cable going from your NeXT to the sound box to the monitor. Some cases you need a load board. Yeah, it's checking disk on the original hard drive. I'm not even sure what would be on this one. But you know what? We've come this far. I might as well just make it, you know, this is like going into overtime. I just wanted to show you guys that, hey, I think I know what I'm doing. Don't give up hope, you know. I'm fortunate to have parts that I can swap in and out. So, my next suspects, I'm going to try and swap a different 152 power supply. I don't know if I have any more of those appliance bulbs, but probably round one up here in town, maybe over at Home Depot or something. But I really just want to ship him the system, you know. As I say, I offered 983 supply, you're good to go. I realize it's a traditional thing and all that. But I'm just trying to keep my tradition of sending out working stuff. Okay, it's rebooting. That's a good sign. I'm not sure what's going to happen from here. Fireball. That's good. Checking disk. I'm hoping that iPhone batteries withstood this as well. I mean, this is like a 3-hour Spielberg production. Or it's like Avatar. Yeah, I just saw there's a chocolate bunny there. I guess I get to eat the ears after this. It says reboot complete. Are you guys applauding and cheering? The fans go wild. In overtime, Mr. Blessing for his hat trick on the pitch today. Looky there, looky there. We got next step. Wham bam. Let's see if I can log in or if I got to break the password. Might as well do that while we're at it. All right. Boom. Well, we got an operating system. Are you guys excited? Dude, you're the man! I can hear it. There's like 3 of them out there. Gilles, if you're still out there, man, what's going on, bro? Haven't heard from you in a while. I'll have to give you a call. Make sure life's good, my brother. All right, let's see here. Goes for all the rest of you too. Usually when I'm thinking about someone, it's like my mom says it's a Scottish thing. Means they got something going on, so I'll have to give them a buzz. All right. Hey, this is definitely interesting looking. This is not the way I normally do it, so let's see what's up in Local Labs. See if we got any surprises in here. App soft draw, diagram. What kind of games? Looks like we got Mathematica, Internet. Whee! Let's see what the Internet is. OmniWeb, okay. Surfing the web. See if we got any games. No. Simon Says. That'd be interesting to take a look. Okay, let's go back here. Installers, Local Labs on the shelf. What else do we have? I bet they had a dial-up connection with PPP. See if they have demos installed. What version is this? Go to info panel. Yeah, I'm hitting the wall here. What's that say? Oh man, my eyes are blurry. Recharge my headset. 3-3, okay. What do you know? And let's see, I like this view. If you don't know, you can have the icon view or browser view. I like this browser view or a listing view with the click of an icon. That'd be more Unix-like. So I prefer browser. I just find it's easier to navigate. See what's in demos. And I can do let's do a molecule. The heck of it. Alright guys, well what do you think? Did I do okay? B minus. Open molecule file. Let's see if I can remember all this stuff. Alright, we're going to do, well, let's see. We got methanol. What is this other? Butane. Let's do T. It says TNT. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, and then labels. See if it'll spin. Alright, my work is done here. Yay! So, what I'll do, Greg, is I'm going to go get some shut-eye. I'll wake up. We're going to put a no good 030 in. I think it's the load board. Dang it. I'm going to test the 030 with a NeXT monitor, which negates the need for a load board. If it boots that way, we know it's the bulb in the appliance. It's an appliance bulb in that load board. And Brian says he's got the 2.0 version coming for me. But hey man, it's better than not having to work at NeXT. And anybody out there, I buy, I sell, I trade NeXT hardware. So we do everything. We do recapping service. I've got my friend Matt has done hundreds of NeXT motherboards for me in the community. Not one has been returned. He was a quality control guy over at Celestica Motherboards before they moved to their facilities to Mexico. And he takes real care and pride in doing them for me as a side hustle. And his main business is cleaning carpets and vents. And he's like, I've known him, 40 years. We're good friends. Also great friends with a lot of my customers out there. And hope you all are doing well. And I'm not even sure what I'm doing. Powering off and going to bed. Okay, we'll take down the circus. What did you guys think? I had lasers going, a planetarium, the infinity cube. I'm sure hoping that this camera's still going. Could have run it out of space on the first one. Let's see if I can grab this without being a fool. Take these out. Come on. There we go. I feel pretty good. I mean, I'm going to pay the price for it with my hip here, so. Going over and above. I'm going to take this little NeXT shot glass down, so we don't want that to break. And we're going to take this down. I kind of taped it up there in anticipation of potential calamity stuff happening, which did manifest. That's good. Okay. Yeah. We're not out of the woods yet. So, stay tuned. More fun stuff to come from the black hole. Hey, you don't get this kind of special effects everywhere, do you? All right. Appreciate everybody's business and patience, especially yours, Greg. You can see that I'm making a heroic effort here. So, if any luck, I'll get her out today. What I need, I think I've earned an opportunity to get some sleep. All right. Fun. I enjoy this, though. I really do. And the Masters tournament's on today, so I'll have a lazy eye on that. Tell me it's still recording. It is. Great. Have a good day.